What is the best decision you have made while drunk? I made grilled cheese at 2 a.m. once, but instead of using plain toast I made it with garlic bread. I used to deliver small airplanes as a sort of side gig. The best part for me was simply being by myself, often for days, and just enjoying leisurely flights over the US. One evening several years ago, I would had a few too many and invited my dad to join me on a 3-4-day trip to deliver some guy's new plane from the Northwest. Disclaimer, although I care about him, Dad can be very stressful to travel with on long trips, so the next morning I was a little annoyed with myself for doing this, due to medical issues that turned out to be the last vacation he ever had, and we had a great time. I would hate to have missed that week with him. We had a get-together at my place a couple years ago, just me and 3 of my classmates. One of them recently broke up with his girlfriend and was heartbroken. We got quite drunk and they left the next morning, but said classmate came back for his charger and told me that thanks to what I have said the day before, they are getting back together with girlfriend. I was glad obviously, but to this day I have no clue what I have told him. I was very drunk. They are still together by the way. I got really hammered one night and started missing my mom, even though I talked to her regularly, because I lived very far away so I didn't see her often. Apparently I called her and spoke to her for about an hour according to my phone log. The next day when I called her to apologize for whatever dumb shit I said, she told me that it was the most wonderful conversation she would ever had and that I made her feel so proud to be my mom. I have no clue what I said to her and I never had the heart to tell her that I could not remember the call. She died 2 years ago and I never did find out what I said to her. Just gonna eat it to say how wonderful it has been to be able to share memories of my mom. She really was wonderful and I am so glad for any chance I have to tell people how much she meant to me. Not to carpool with my homie after a huge mansion party, where we all got drunk. I had done it before but got some smart impulse not to this time. After I took an Uber and got home to sleep, I woke up from my alcohol-induced sleep and found out from his mom that he ended up flipping the car into a canyon. The roof caved, he broke his neck, and ended up with what luckily turned out to be temporary paralysis. As thankful as I am that he is well and walking now, and just as functional a person as he once was, I am glad I didn't take the car ride with him. Decided that maple leaves look like little hands and proceeded to high-five every tree I saw. Happiest night ever. Still high-five cute leaves sometimes and give myself a good chuckle. Always wondered when I would stop being a lurker and finally be compelled to comment. This is apparently it. I have left and continue to do so. A pint glass of ice on my bedside table, so I can't drink it immediately. But when I wake up with that 4 a.m. cotton mouth thirst, big glass cold water waiting, no getting up. Oh, nice to meet you, smartest person alive. When I was 21 I was quite the alcoholic and I had started using cocaine quite frequently. It started to develop into an addiction as I was doing it alone at my house on a daily basis. One day I was drinking alone at home and went to the gas station to pick up some smokes. On the way back, a high school friend of mine was walking his dog, and I picked him up. He wanted to smoke some weed and so we went back to my place. He started talking about how he just got out of rehab and was telling me about how bad addiction was, all of the signs, etc. He had no clue I was using coke. I very emotionally opened up to him and ended up throwing a little less than an 8-ball into the trash. Have not touched the shit since. To this day the decision to go to the gas station to buy cigarettes when I was drunk was the best one I have ever made. Wow. I am trying to stop using cocaine at the moment. An 8-ball is a lot of cocaine to throw away. 9 years ago, stumbling to the pita shop after the bars closed with my friends, I drunkenly ordered a falafel pita instead of my usual. Blew my mind and changed my life. A friend and I were very drunk and I was talking about how I wanted to get a dog. I have had them my whole life but never one of my own. We browsed the local shelter's website and I found one that looked and sounded perfect. The next morning, we went to the shelter. We were both super hungover. So much so that my friend threw up in the corner of their outdoor area. I met my future dog, played with him a bit and told them I would be back the next day to take him home. And if I am being honest, I was in that half drunk, half hungover phase. I went back the next day and picked him up. My friends kept asking if I was rushing into it and I just brushed them off. 7 years later, we have moved 5 times, including across the country, and he has been my best friend the entire time. He has been the one constant in my life since I got him. Although I personally regret nothing, please do not get a dog on a drunken or sober whim unless you are 100% dedicated. I wrote, "Get with the cookie delivery guy" as my entry on the goals for spring semester list we posted on the wall in my college apartment. Then we invited the cookie delivery guy up for a party. That was almost 8 years ago. We got married last October. Recovered alcoholic here. I was drunk when I made the decision to ask a friend for help getting sober. Best decision I ever made, not just while drunk. I booked a vacation to New Orleans at 3 a.m. while blackout drunk. I got awesome deals on airfare and a nice hotel, even booked it to perfectly fit into my work schedule. I have no idea how I pulled it off, but it was like getting a gift from a stranger. I went to a party in college and came home with a cat. I was patting the house owner's cat and he asked if I wanted a kitten. They had found him outside and he was in rough shape. He is now 7 years old and appropriately named Molson. I bought a mascot-sized Pikachu costume from China. Didn't even realize until a few weeks later, when I started getting angry emails in Chinese chasing me for payment. It's quite fun though. I tend to dress it in other costumes and take it to conventions. Here is me attending UK Comic Con as Pikachu Thor. To quit drinking, another night of embarrassing myself forced me to sleep in the back of my car, because I was no longer welcome at the place I intended. I was tired of it. I said I will never do it again, and 5 years later I have not so far. Hosted a massive college house party, and I was extremely intoxicated and made the decision to steal my roommate's Bacardi O and mix with orange juice. Definitely should have stopped at this point. I don't remember much, but I remember pouring about a shot of orange juice and filling the tall glass with rum until it became clear. I woke up the next morning next to the very large empty Bacardi bottle and feeling wonderful, however remorseful that I stole from my best friend. I profusely apologized that evening when friend finally recovered and committed to replacing said bottle, but he broke out into an uncontrollable laughter to the extent it caused him to dry heave. The bottle was destined to join our many decorative liquor bottles and had been filled with water accordingly. I never lived down my night of binge drinking Bacardi H2O. You were so drunk, you didn't know that you were drinking water. Your liver must have thanked you in every language. My friend and I were drunk when we decided to do a 2,000-mile motorcycle trip. We did it a few months later and had a blast. We now have a rule that if we both agree to a ridiculous trip while drinking, the agreement must be honored. Went out on a girls' night. I was approached by a man and we started talking. He asked if he could introduce me to his friend. I said yes, sure, and he brought his friend over and then walked away. I didn't realize introduce you to my friend meant my friend thinks you're hot but is afraid to approach you himself. I didn't find this friend attractive and was friendly, but distanced myself. When the bar closed, the original guy came up to me and asked what I thought of his friend. I told him he was not my type, and he left and asked me what my type was. I was a bit drunk and felt pretty bold, so I responded with, "You." Turns out I had caught his eye from the moment he saw me, but his friend vocalized his attraction, so he approached me for him. Bro code went out the window as soon as I said how I felt. We will be together for 6 years this coming February. We are living in our 6th state in so many years, and we are so happy with each other. It's been such an adventure, and maybe if I had not said anything, as I usually would not have, I would still be living in that small town, feeling like the walls were closing in on me. When we met, my life was at a bit of a standstill. I have got a good job now. I am slowly getting out of debt. I just got the first car I have owned since 2009, and I have been to amazing places with him by my side. Bought a sweet dinosaur print shirt from a dodgy Chinese vendor. Only read the reviews afterwards, and it seemed that I was most likely to receive something entirely different if I got anything at all. 2 months later, what turns up? My awesome dinosaur shirt. Happy days. I bought a one-way plane ticket out of the country. The next day, after sobering up, I decided to just roll with it. I quit my job as an engineer, broke up with my significant other, and ended up a much happier person because of it. Damn, I don't think I've ever been that drunk. Fucked my now husband on 30 years. Weirdly, I met my ex stone cold sober. I think drunk me might have better taste in men. To move back home, we moved around so much that I didn't really have a hometown, but the place I ended up graduating high school from felt more like home than anywhere. I moved out of state after high school, became severely depressed, lost my job and my dog, and had literally nothing in life left to look forward to. I drank a fifth of Jim Beam one night after having a bad depressive episode, and felt more homesick than I had in my entire life. I decided then and there to move back. I got up with one of my old friends. He helped me get decent job for a 19-year-old. We ended up dating, and now we have been married for almost 14 years. Life has turned out okay. I was dating this girl. She was a solid 10 out of 10. Absolutely incredible. I could not believe how lucky I was. She was dumb and boring, but incredibly good looking. I held onto her for 3 years before I could not deal with the boring conversations. When my little brother died, she texted me, "Oh my god, rip," and so I got drunk and told her to piss off. When I drunk drove, got pulled up and lost my license for 2.5 years. It's simultaneously my worst and best decision. Worst for obvious reasons. Best, because it was the final slap to the face I needed to wake up to myself and my serious drinking issues and suicidal ideations. Now I am sober, off the piss. My depression has finally fucked off, and I am getting my license back at the end of January. That poor decision may well have saved my, or someone else's, life in the long run. Not me, but my friend has some tech-savvy friends. And years ago he bought a ton of Bitcoin in a blackout when the price was around $5 each. He forgot that happened until he stumbled onto the old hard drive years later, when Bitcoin was very high. He is beyond rich now. Thanks for watching. Share your story in the comment.